Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I feel completely underqualified to speak about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I don't think a lot of you are going to like my opinion. Let's get into it. I'm sure we have all seen the documentary on Netflix. So the documentary has been released in 2025 and it is called Amy Bradley is Missing on Netflix. I'm in the UK. I believe it's in the US as well. And it covers the story behind Amy Bradley, who went missing on a cruise ship. I'm not going to go into all the details because it is worth a watch. It's very interesting. But it's also important we go into watching these Netflix documentaries with skepticism. Not because of the story. This is true. This has happened. Somebody's gone missing. But Netflix want to make as much money as they can off these stories, and they want as many views as they can get. So the more sensationalised it is, the more people are going to be talking about it. Like me now, and many people. I know the whole internet are speaking about it, so why not put my 2 cents in as well and probably annoy everybody. I don't think she is alive anymore, and it's so sad, but I've not seen many people kind of just accept it for what it is, that somebody has probably fallen overboard and died, instead of focusing on this aspect. All these crazy stories and speculations are coming out of it. The reason I wanted to put my opinion forward is because I want to. My opinion seems quite rare that she's probably not been trafficked. The witnesses that are in the show are probably making it up, or this is all in my opinion, they're not reliable, because witness statements generally aren't reliable. I mean, it's a huge boat, 2 women at 5 o'clock in the morning after being out drinking, partying, whatever, even not drinking, 5 a.m. And they've made it to the Netflix documentary as evidence. Doesn't seem right to me. But it's sensationalised. They wouldn't have a story if the family had closure and it was just accepted that Amy had passed away. It's way more exciting for viewers to speculate if she's been trafficked, which makes for good telly, but it's cruel on the family. The first thing that the Netflix documentary really focuses on is the eyewitnesses that saw her on the ship and saw it on the beach. And when I've seen people analysing this situation, I've not seen anyone mention the fact that eyewitnesses and eyewitness accounts are generally the least reliable evidence for anything. Netflix are so clever how they do these documentaries. They want the sensation, they want the what ifs, like random. Why did they have the daughter ringing her dad just for him to say, like, I wasn't involved and I don't want to talk about it? Like, to me, that wasn't suspicious at all. I mean, they all claim, why do I need to get involved? I've got no reason other than to tell the truth. But some people are just busybodies, and some people just want to be involved in things. It was clearly a massive case. And if 3 witnesses that said they saw her in the Caribbean after she went missing, that's not many. I don't believe it, sorry. And the eyewitness testimony on the ship from the 2 people out of how many people on a cruise ship said they saw her at 6 a.m. going in a lift with him up, the bass player, up in the lift. And the one thing they didn't mention at this point was there would have been CCTV at the lifts, because in the documentary they said they didn't have CCTV in the rooms, but they did have them in the communal areas, which, well, slam dunk then. because you're going to have CCTV near lifts. I mean, you have them in elevators. So if these eyewitnesses saw her go in an elevator up and he came down on his own, where's the proof? There isn't any, because it didn't happen. I believe she fell. And I know they debunked it by saying if she fell, we'd have found a body, yada, yada, yada. But that's not a definite. There's no way to prove that if a person fell in the water and unfortunately passed away, you don't know what's in the water. Like, oh, I hate speaking about this, but we don't know what's underneath the ship that could draw people in. There's other boats around, maybe speedboats. There's animals that in the sea that eat flesh. So, I don't know. I feel like usually in this case, the most boring answers are usually the ones that have happened. And the thing that makes me the most sad is the parents still believe she's alive, so they can't have that closure. And it's so sad. I understand the need for hope, and I feel like these people that are claiming to have seen her have given that hope, but I don't think it's always a good thing for people, especially people who are of the age of her parents, and they've probably dedicated their whole rest of their life trying to find her. And I don't know, there were just a lot of holes in the Netflix documentary, and it seemed to me that they wanted the most drama, the most crazy, outrageous outcome, rather than kind of just facing facts that she unfortunately could have just fallen over. On one hand, they say in the documentary, things like this happen all the time, people go missing all the time. But surely if that was true, especially on this cruise ship, they'd have known that these people were trafficking people. It'd have been happening a lot. So, I don't know. That's just my quick opinion. As I said, I'm completely underqualified to speak about this. I've never been on a cruise ship. I've watched one Netflix documentary on the matter, and I have done zero research. But that was just my reflections from the documentary. I feel like whenever anything like scandalous is happening, there's always people that claim they've seen things and claim that's the person. I mean, at the risk of sounding like a bit mean, like, I don't believe the people that said they saw her. It just seemed like they wanted to tell a story for attention, especially the lady who heard her in the bathroom. The way she said it, it was very like dramatized, and I don't know, it just gave me a weird vibe. I know some people speak like that, but I feel like they had random people in this documentary that didn't really need to be. Including the girlfriend with the letter in a bottle. I found her very odd. Seemed nice, but just odd way of speaking, and it seemed like she was reading from a romance novel rather than speaking from the heart. But once again, some people just speak like that. But the point of this video was to kind of say what I'm not hearing people say, which is, unfortunately, she's probably gone and her parents aren't getting that closure because the internet wants it to be scandalous. They want it to be like a Liam Neeson film, Taken, and it's probably just she's died, and she's, yeah, we forget how big the sea is. Like, they say we'd find a body, but the sea's massive. I mean, I'm no expert in the sea, but I know the sea is pretty big. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up and say, let me know what you think. It's so interesting and it's so sad, but I fear that as soon as Netflix get into a story, it becomes that, a story, and they need to farm emotions and views, and they let people's imaginations run wild, and there was just a few things I was just surprised by that it actually got into the documentary. But anyway, I might be annoying some of you with this take. It's not meant like that. It's just, I always feel people deserve closure. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think below. And thanks for watching.